You are now listening to the Warp World Podcast. Boom shakalaka.
3,
2,
1.
Welcome, everybody, to the Warp World Podcast, episode 106. I'm Graham Pooh Bear. Joining me this week, we have X-Water.
That's me.
And a very super incredible, amazing, awesome special guest, TheDragonFeeney.
Oh my God.
TheDragonFeeney is here with us. Yes.
That's me.
Jakku is out on assignment in Europe doing some top secret stuff, which we will talk about later, which makes it not top secret anymore. But we are so incredibly happy to have you here, Feen. Feen, how have you been? How are you doing? Tell us about your life.
Oh man.
You
I
know?
don't have much of a life right now. It's been a whirlwind couple months since before Mario Maker 2 launched, and it's been a wild ride. There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
This is a Twitch focused podcast, and I think the one thing that's crazy about Twitch is it literally never stops. Me and my wife joked is that every week we say, "Oh, next week it'll calm down," and it never does. You know, it never.
Next week we'll get a
down.
break. Oh, next week we can do nothing. No.
Yeah, it literally never calms down. It's a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week job, which is insane. Yeah, you've been all over the place though. You've been traveling a bit. You've been streaming a ton. You're doing 2-a-day streams.
Yep, 2 a day, 7:30 in the morning, and again at 5:30 at night Eastern time, and it's been a long couple months.
You've been doing that for like 6 months, maybe more. I feel like I remember that starting up around like what, September, late August kind of deal last year. Oh shit, that's a whole year.
It's been almost a year. Yeah,
Almost a year.
I started doing double streams back in July last year, so it's been a year of those. And then when Mario Maker 2 came out, we ramped up and started streaming earlier and later, and earlier and later.
Well, yeah, everyone has. Yeah. It's such a good game. What's your favorite part right now about Mario Maker 2?
I've been loving Endless. It's been good. I get to play a lot of levels, a lot of different levels, and yeah, I've been enjoying all of it, really. All the costumes are so fun.
Yeah.
Everything about it is just so fun. Like, there's so much more to it than there was in Mario Maker 1 that there's nothing to be tired of because there's just so much.
I care more about how my Mii looks in Mario Maker than I do about how I look in real life.
How do you feel about crowns, though? Are you ever going to get a crown, you think?
You know, so what I've been thinking is that I'm going to try and get weekly top maker, and I'm going to just like release like 10 levels all at once, like 5 like decent cool levels, and then 5 just like bullshit like dumb thing, dumb levels,
dumb meme levels.
Yeah. Like literally like walk to the end, like something silly, and and then like hopefully just get a ton of art, like utilize my my Mario Maker minions
Get 'em, boys.
to boost me to the top, like basically cheat the system to boost me to the top so I can get a crown.
At this point, it's pretty much the only way.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
The only way to get a crown right now. There's no other way to get a crown.
You know who's got a crown?
There's
Australian X-Water.
Australian X-Water, I know.
I beat Australian X-Water's expert run.
Yeah.
And then I went and beat Canadian X-Water's expert run.
Yeah. I think one thing they really should be doing, and I'm surprised that they're not, like, seems like Fortnite kind of showed everyone the way, but they should be like offering
seasons,
exactly, seasons and different outfits for different achievements, through every season that you can only have, and then it's just gone forever.
Oh God! If the crown went away forever and I never had a chance to earn it, I think I'd be sad.
But nobody else could earn it. Like, yeah, but you could earn a different crown later on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I want that crown.
Same.
I'm just saying.
Just like I want my Fortnite Season 2 Black Knight skin.
That would be really lit. That would be really, really lit. I just think that would be awesome.
It would be cool. It would be sweet if, like, each season they also added in a twist to endless mode. Like, what if Season 2 comes in, they're like, okay, now in endless mode, 15 skips at the start, you earn 1 skip every 3 levels you beat.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Or you're in like 5 skips a page or something.
Yeah, something, literally any rule would be awesome.
Yeah, just shake
Literally
it up,
any
change it
rule.
a bit.
Yeah, they should do like double weekends where you have double lives for endless, like just something really dumb to fuck up the leaderboards.
It's weird because they're so good at seasonal content for so many other games. Like Splatoon has their Splatfests, which, it's just like a little mini game in it, but they do a new thing inside of it.
Splatfest now?
They do the Smash Bros. Spirit promotions where they're like, oh, look at that single player mode you haven't touched since it came out. It's got a new thing going on. It would work so well in Mario Maker.
It would. Okay, now, one thing I do want to talk about, because we are sitting here with the TheDragonFeeney, who has more inside information than any human I know on Nintendo right now.
I don't think I do.
Here's the thing. Any information you have is still way more than anyone else that does what we do. You are one of the golden 4 people that have got to play Mario Maker 2 early. You were part of the Mario Maker 2 Invitational. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us like a little bit about that? Like how did it even get started? Like did Nintendo's official Twitter approach you? Like how did that happen?
Well, it wasn't like Nintendo of America, but it was a representative of Nintendo.
Okay.
They slid into my DMs and they were like, "Hey, are you free on this weekend?" And I was like, "Yes." So
Did they tell you why? Did they tell you why originally?
No, they didn't tell me why. I had to sign an NDA before the announcement, and there was a lot of secrecy with it and a lot of back and forth. But it was just, they messaged me and said, "Hey, are you free this weekend?" They didn't tell me why. They didn't tell me. I had an idea, but they didn't tell me. They didn't give me.
Because
too
by
many
that point you had
details.
heard about the Invitational, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they had announced the Invitational before they contacted you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. They announced it first, then they messaged me, and then we had back and forth in emails. I was talking to 6 or 7 different people throughout the whole thing, so I ended up getting all my travel and stuff sorted out like 4 days before the event. So the event was on, a Saturday? It was all done Tuesday.
Cutting it close, wow.
It was scary. Because I was like, oh man, I'm from Canada. What if they have problems getting me there?
That's actually a good point. Did you have any issues like because you were competing in an event, in an official thing? Because I had a buddy who went to go be an extra in the Avengers, the original Avengers, and he was crossing the border. And as soon as they found out why, they're like, "You're banned from America for 5 years for trying to work over here without a visa." And the dude literally was just walking over to be an extra. He wasn't even getting paid.
So in Canada, when you go to the States and you fill out the machine thing at the airport, you get the option of business visa, which is like a temporary thing, which means you're not going there for a job, but you are going there to work. There was a lot of discussion about that in the stuff too, but when you leave from the airport, you can get a business visa from there, and that's valid, and you can do work in the States. As long as you're like, they get stingy about it once you're like looking for jobs.
But just going over and doing a little event like that, it was relatively painless for you then.
Oh yeah. Once everything was straightened out and schedules were made, then everything was smooth sailing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, Like, one thing I've learned though is like these big companies, they do kind of work quickly and last minutely, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's something that they like to do. It's almost like they thrive on it in some ways, which is nerve-wracking for me because I'm such a planner. I don't know. I know you are, Fiend, as well.
I like having my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
I like knowing what I'm going to be doing next week.
That's the best way to describe it. So you get there, like you get there. It's pre-E3 weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, and what happens? Do they pick you up in a Mario Kart? I'm assuming.
No, I was
some
hoping,
sort of go-kart.
But no. They picked us up in a car, I guess.
A normal car.
Okay.
A normal car, like a third-party vehicle. And they brought us to the hotel. We chilled for the first day. They handed us our welcome to LA swag and
Okay,
was
so you
good.
got
We
swag. Can we
got
see some of the
swag.
swag? Do you have
Yeah.
swag handy? I would love to see some of this.
Always.
Yeah, this is because this is pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh,
So the first
look at
one-
that.
Okay.
I got
Ooh,
this
that's
dope
sharp.
backpack.
That's
Oh,
so
but it's got
cool.
the stamp on it.
It's
Oh
got
my
the stamp
God.
on it. On
That's
the
probably
other
worth a
side,
lot
it's
of
got
money.
like the Switch
Yeah.
logo. And
Yeah,
it's,
that's hella
it's-
cool.
It's
That's
a Switch
probably worth a lot of
backpack,
money.
so you
Oh, that's
can
dope.
store all your Switch stuff. And I got this is cool. I got this really cool Mario Maker 2 skin.
Oh,
my
for the
Switch,
controller.
so-
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was the big thing, and then like bags and a little bit of other stuff and consumables. Lots of candy. They had lots of candy, and I was
Yeah?
very
That's
happy
great
about
for
that.
you, yeah.
But yeah, it was more of a get together shindig, meet everybody. There were a lot of people there for Splatoon and Smash, and they got really cool jackets. I don't know if you guys saw any of those, but they
I
got
did, yeah.
They were almost like Letterman jackets. Like they were very nice, and they all got shirts too, which was really cool. So they were dressed to the nines when they went on stage. And
Man,
then we
So
got
you guys are like, have some backpacks.
You guys get a bag, yeah. Get
Well,
a bag.
I-
we put a patch on it. You know.
I think most of us were just happy to be there, and like a lot of them, those like the Splatoon and Smash people, there was a team from Japan and a team from Australia, New Zealand. I think there was even a team from Europe. So it was a worldwide event that they had teams coming from all over the place. So I would hope that they treated them well, especially
Yeah.
after that much travel.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
point. I know the Splatoon and Smash Bros. Like competitive scene, Nintendo is at least trying to, at least for Splatoon, they're trying to push it more too. So maybe trying to give them some special treatment, something to look forward to next year. Because they've been doing the Smash Bros. And Splatoon invitationals for a while now as well, where Mario Maker Invitational, this is the first one other than it being featured at the World Championships back in 2015 or something?
Yeah.
I think there was one in 2017 with Mario Maker.
Okay. Yeah, but something along the lines
Was
of
it
that.
Yellow Killer Bee was in that one
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
was in
And
that one
she
too.
was, and 360
She-
Chrism was there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So Yellow Killer Bee really has the inside scoop.
She
Oh yeah.
does.
She literally like her uncle might actually
Two-timer.
work at Nintendo.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of funny because we were walking around like the next day we had to do prep work and like rehearsals, and this is where you're gonna sit and this is where you're gonna be and this is what we have to do and then we have to film this. And she was walking around like she knew everybody. She already knew everybody. She was like, "Oh hey, how are you doing?" Like they were on first name basis.
Oh wow.
So
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's hilarious. So you guys, so you did some like extra filming and whatnot. You did. I remember that like that video package
yeah,
that they put together right before it. I thought that was pretty cute.
it
Yeah.
was silly. I learned that I can't act. I'm not. They say, okay, now do a reaction face, and I'm like,
That's really funny. When I went to the React channel, did the React thing, I had to do like the same thing where they were like, you know, do a silly face, now do a reaction face, or do like a sad face. And everyone that rolled through here that I beat, they all did them and they had it like on point. They were all like ready to go with their faces. And I was just in awe of how good they were with just like throwing up like a, you know, like, all those weird
Like
looks.
1
yeah.
second and their face looks like it's in a YouTube thumbnail.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Abdallah and Gerard were the same way. Like they had them ready. Like it was in their back pocket. They were just, I'm ready for this.
Yo,
Yeah.
they're
I've
content
practiced.
creators. Yeah,
They
you
are-
know what
Yeah.
I mean? They've been making thumbnails for a while.
Yeah, the difference between that YouTube and Twitch game, I guess. I like to think of it as freestyle rapping versus like scripted rapping. Two very relatable but entirely separate skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's man, that was really cool. So what was like actually let's talk about the event itself.
Yes.
Like, so as we get in there, unless there's anything else like happened pre-event that we should definitely know about.
I
We
wanted
want
to
the
ask
full scoop.
There
about
were
the
lots
gang.
of
Go ahead.
tacos.
Okay, the tacos.
Tacos were delicious.
LA's got good tacos.
LA's got great tacos, almost as good as Taco Libre at GDQ.
Also
Lots of good tacos. We walked to the anime village, Japan Little Japantown.
Yeah, Little Tokyo.
I was gonna call it Anime Village.
Anime town.
I
And
apologize
like I don't
to
mean that in
any
a negative
Japanese
way,
listener.
but like I'm sorry, but everybody was dressed as like their favorite anime character, and they had a lot of like really cool shops down
They
there,
do.
and it was very nice, very fancy. A lot of old game stores, like they had import consoles and games and stuff, and it was really good. We walked there from the hotel we were at the Ace Theater, and Abdallah was like, "Oh, I know the way. You know, I can take us there, no problem." We went through Death Row, or no, not Death Row, Skid Row. We went through Skid Row, and we were like, "I don't want to walk back in the dark through here." It was terrifying, and it was so weird to see such disparity beside these big fancy hotels, and I don't know, it was just crazy because it was like 2 streets over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we made it there and we got ice cream and everybody was happy.
I was about to say, you obviously have not visited Portland yet.
No.
Xwater's been here. He's seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast. That's our political podcast, which we do, that we talk about. But yeah, that's, so Xwater, sorry, you had a question?
Yeah, no, so that first day before the event and everything, you got to like spend time with the other competitors, right?
Yes.
Was it just like the 4 of you guys, or were like the commentators hanging out? Who was part of that squad?
Well, everybody was there. Everybody like us, the commentators, the Splatoon people, the Smash people, we were all just hanging out in a room. They had like practice consoles set up and like their kiosk, their Switch kiosk, fancy things. It was really cool. So we just got to chill and chat, and everybody, we all met each other. And it was kind of funny because the teams that were there, they were kind of like cliquey because they didn't talk to each other. They like stayed amongst their own team.
Oh, like the
like
one
the
Splatoon team doesn't talk to the
Yeah.
other one?
That makes sense, I guess, in
Well,
some
it makes
ways.
sense because like there's kids from Japan.
Yeah.
And there's a language barrier, but they all seem very nice. The Australian team brought cookies, and that was very sweet.
Oh, that's a good move.
But yeah, the 4 of us were just kind of like stragglers, so we just, hung out with each other.
Your own team that's forced to compete against each other. Did you guys?
it was all
Were you
fun.
play? Like, did they let you play Maker 2 at this like time yet?
No.
When was the first time you got to actually play Maker 2?
We got 10 minutes the day before.
Okay.
The day before we got 10 minutes, and it was all in Maker mode.
Okay, and at this point, not having seen anybody play at all, did you think that anybody was a threat to you?
Well, that's the thing. So Abdallah and Gerard both got to play because they're media. So they were at like New York.
Oh, so they
at
had
Nintendo
first
New
play
York.
advantage.
So they had first play advantage. And I was like, I'm toast. They know how to play. I don't know this game.
Yeah, but you got how many hours under your belt with Mario Maker 1? Different games, we all understand, but still.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that. That actually like kind of bugs me a little bit. Like that's a legit session they had before,
Yeah.
That's like an hour-long session.
I don't know how much time they had. Half an hour, I think
That's
they
like
were saying.
learning the
'cause
cat suit,
Yeah,
First time you used
that's
the
enough
cat
time
suit
to
was
learn the
like,
cat
what is
suit.
this?
So in the 10 minutes that I got to play in Maker mode, that was what I did. Was first I had to learn how to make levels because that's not something that I do, and then I had to learn how to play the cat suit and the car, and it was a lot harder than I expected.
How high was your disappointment the first time you hopped in that car and realized how it controlled?
No, I was not disappointed at all. Like I love the car. When the car is in a good level and it works, I like the car.
All right,
There's
so
just
one
a
out
lot
of million levels. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So the level that we played had a car section, and I think that was a well done.
That section was
car
pretty
section.
cool. I remember you crushed that like first try too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual event, the race. You go up head to head right away against Yellow Killer Bee.
Right.
What did you consider her a threat at this point? At this point, everyone on the broadcast, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Fiend's the favorite." Like you were well hyped on the broadcast, which I liked.
I know, but I didn't because I don't want to let anybody down.
Yeah, I get that. No, that's like worse. It's almost worse when people think you're gonna win. You know, it's like way worse. I always say when I race Mitch at SMB3, like I got nothing to fucking lose. Like whatever. If I win, I beat Mitch, and if I lose, well, Mitch was supposed to win. It's easy for me, you know. Like it's great. Yeah, race him any day. I'll make a living off losing to Mitch. But were you nervous? I guess it looked like a pretty packed room, big production.
Yeah, it was a very packed room. There was a lot of Nintendo officials there. They were handing out swag off the street. People were coming in. There was a big lineup. Mario and Luigi showed up. That was great.
Wow, the brothers themselves.
Yeah, I have that picture on my Instagram of me and the brothers, and I got to meet them, which was cool. But yeah, no, it was a full house even for Mario Maker, which was really nice. Because I was kind of surprised because a lot of people are big into Splatoon and Smash. Like I think Splatoon was the big one that everybody watched. But it was a nice show up for Mario Maker. It was nice to see.
I don't know why that surprises me. Splatoon was the one that everyone showed up to watch.
It's the same, but I don't play it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And most of the commentators were Splatoon.
Oh, I see. I would have thought Smash would have been at least more popular. They do Smash really weird where they use items.
They don't involve the Smash people. Like they do their own thing. Yeah.
Well, you know. Well, here's the thing. I mean, that's what was so cool about having Fiend there is it was one of our own, you know? Like I think that was one of the things that we were all worried about with the Invitational is it would be like, you know, like a wrestler and NBA player and like, you know, two random content creators. But we got, you know, a Mario Maker hardcore diehard player in there, which was so cool. So it was a roller coaster watching your first race at home because they had your name switched.
They did.
And we thought you got spanked in the first round. Like we thought, and we were like, I made like excuses. I was like, you know, it must be really different. She's got so much Mario Maker 1 guys that it's hard to learn Mario. You know, like Yellow Killer Bees, like she's a really good speed runner. And then when it flipped, we were all just like, it's just Pog Champs everywhere. You know, it was such a great moment to know.
Well, I had no idea until after the whole thing was done.
Okay.
So I was sitting there, you know, whatever,
just
no big
thinking
deal.
like, yeah, basking in your glory. You had the fastest
like
time.
I didn't even know that I had won that one until they came over and they were like, "Who do you want as your partner?" And I was like, "What? What?" Because I couldn't see what Gerard and Abdallah were doing. Because
you
of
couldn't even see
the
it.
angles. No, I could see like I think Gerard's screen from like the back, so I could see like parts of it. And so Yellow Killer Bee and I were just sitting there chatting, and it was fine.
Wow, it's surprising that they didn't give
know
you more
anything
information.
until. Well, we knew what the format was going to be, which was fine enough.
I feel like they should let you watch the other two to decide who's.
I'm sure we could have like leaned over and saw, but like Gerard and Abdallah couldn't see at all. Like they were blindfolded because they didn't want them seeing the level.
That makes sense. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so which brings us to our next step, and this your gameplay at the Invitational was incredible. Like
Thank you.
Top tier. It was the best I've ever seen. But we got to talk about, you know, your GM skills. This is your you know, your coaching skills, you know, how you form your team, because you pick your team, you go with Yellow Killer Bee.
Yes.
Did you ever think of going with someone else, or was it like before the event even started, did you know
So
if you had the chance?
I had a lot of thought about it, and it's like, what if I get there? What if I'm in that first place spot? And I was scoping. I was seeing what other people were doing. I was watching on Twitch. I was watching on YouTube.
You were scouting.
I was
Scouting the
scouting.
team.
I was like, who do I want? And it's a hard decision. It's very strategic. You gotta say, okay, am I strong enough to carry somebody to the end, basically, or do I want to go with a person that was in second place, or do I want to go with a person that was in last place and just carry them? Which turned out, you know, that carrying wouldn't have worked in that level anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of, I don't know what to do. And so it was kind of good because they came over and they said, "Who do you want as your teammate? You won." And I was like, "Oh." And Yellow Killer Bee, like she was my best friend that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like we were together, we were inseparable. We got to meet each other, and like I knew who she was from GDQs and stuff because she's very active in the speedrunning community. So I knew who she was, and she was my best friend that weekend. So I went with Yellow Killer Bee. Plus, she's the only other one on Twitch.
True.
Gerard and Abdallah were both YouTubers. Is that what they call
Yeah,
them?
YouTubers.
So yeah, I went with
YouTubers,
Yellow
yes.
Killer Bee, and I don't regret it. I had a blast, and yeah. So while we were going through the level, it was a hard level.
That was okay. Two things about that level. One, it was really hard. I like when we were watching it, because we were on call, right? Xwater.
I hopped. Okay, I shamefully got the time zones not proper, so I got on right as it ended, and I'm like, all right, ready to go. I'm up for my nap, good to get in there. And you guys are like, that was nuts. I rewatched it right after, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we were talking about it, and like because everyone was on stream with us, and all we kept saying was like, this co-op level is super hard looking. Like it looks like very, very difficult to like coordinate everything. It was not an easy level. Like I definitely don't think like me and Beast would have gotten it first try. You know what I mean? Like we would have struggled just the same as anyone did.
Yeah. It's like trying to play One Mind with a group of people. Like in theory, it should be easy, but like you have to be like, okay, everybody, we're jumping together and trying to communicate the plans for what you're going to do, and two people might approach it slightly differently. Were you guys able to like talk to each other? Like, was it really noisy?
Yeah. So I'll talk about the setup a little bit. So the setup for it, there was a lot of issues with the headsets that they use. Like I couldn't hear, then YKB couldn't hear, and I know that Gerard and Abdallah had the same issues. It was just there was some interference or something in the headsets, so it took a little bit for that to actually get set up. And so that was like, oh my god, what if I can't hear her? What if it cuts out? Like there was a lot of nerves involving that, but after like once we got going, we could hear each other, we could communicate, and there was a lot of okay, I'll go do this, you go do that, and it wasn't so much like delegation, it was more trying to share the load instead of you do this, I'll do that. Yeah. Or instead of like, I'm the boss here, you go do this.
So, did you, what do I want to say? Like, where do you guys think it like went wrong in that particular moment of the race, I guess?
The one, I think it was like the second room, the on-off switches. Like, I feel like we cruised. They are. I feel like we cruised through like the first section, and then once we got to the second section, with the on-off switches, that's kind of where it fell apart. There was a lot of mistiming, and we didn't even realize there was that one on-off switch like at the end for a while. So that kind of slowed us down there. But yeah, that's where it fell apart.
Oh man, it was so like exciting to watch, and that was such a good level. And I've always been really bummed because it was so weird for me to have Nintendo, or for like in my mind for Nintendo to show that level, because you literally can't upload a level like that.
Yeah. So we were talking to the guys who made the level. They work at Nintendo of America in Washington, and they're very nice people. And they were like, yeah, we wanted to make it harder, but we had to cut it back because of time constraints, because they had a time limit on it. And they were like, I don't know how we're gonna upload this. Like they weren't sure themselves how they were gonna upload it, because they wanted to share it after Mario Maker 2 launched. But they were like, we don't know what we're gonna do with this yet. So
yeah, they can't upload it, and that's
it is up. It is up.
It is up?
Yeah, all of the invitational levels are available to play.
I wonder how they uploaded it. We should try that.
Yes, we should ask Jakku. If anyone could figure it out, dude.
Well, I wonder if they just put like a dev exit in.
Yeah, I think they added a way to beat it single player.
Lame.
I think they're at Nintendo though. They got to be able to pull strings to be like, just put it up, just do it.
You keep it out of endless.
Yeah.
You know why? That's what they need. They need a way for us to make real multiplayer levels, because I don't think there would be. I'm not saying there would be hundreds and thousands of these, but the 5 to 10,000 that would get made that we couldn't go through anyway would probably end up being really effing
Just an
good.
upload
You know what I mean?
person option.
Yeah.
Like you get to upload with a friend.
Yeah, there's like people, there's definitely like college kids rooming with people and stuff like that they would work on these really great, amazing co-op levels. I really believe that.
For sure.
And there's no way to upload them or to do that. And it kind of sucks. It really like sucks co-op dry, because that's I came out of that invitational wanting to play co-op, like wanting to play levels like that so badly. Yeah. And I'll never get to, like, because
there's always the dev exit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, the dev exit. No one resists the dev exit. No one can resist it.
No, you can't. The multiplayer versus levels have been really good so far, though.
Yeah, they've been awesome.
Yeah, some of them have been really good. So it's funny. I've run into some of them that like don't work.
Yeah.
Like they make multiplayer levels and they just don't work.
I've
You
had
didn't
a few of
test all the
those.
paths, or something in one affects something in the other, and it just.
I really like the ones that give you like
doesn't
4
work.
pipes and they're not like complete copy pastes of each other. So like if you're behind, you can be like, oh, maybe mine's just a little faster though, and I can catch up. Like I got the ice path in one of these levels, and like another dude had a seesaw path, and I was like, if I'm jumping a lot, ice is going to be faster than seesaws.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I had one level called Tortoise and Hare. And the bottom was like a very, very slow route. And the top was this like, it had like people movers that went fast, and you didn't have to wait for the thwomps. But then when they got to the end, they got stuck in this like P-switch box area. And I got to walk right to the end and beat everyone. It was hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah, they all took the top path. I just accidentally took the bottom path, so it was one of those fine wins you get when you're playing Mario Maker. It's I've compared first mode to like gambling or sitting at a blackjack table. That's what it feels like.
That's super accurate.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
60% of the time, your win is because of luck.
Mm-hmm. So the race is over. What do you guys do then? Do you mingle with the creator of Mario Maker who was there?
Actually we did.
Oh,
Actually, so we went down to their green room or whatever, and Mr. Tezuka was there, and we got to talk with him for a bit with his translator Ethan, and we got to ask him whatever about the Mario series, and he was very nice. He was really pleased to see us be there and having fun, I think, is the main thing that he wanted us to see.
That sounds just
he
like
wanted
Nintendo.
to see from us. Was I know.
It's the most
I know.
Nintendo
They just
thing I've ever
want
heard.
you to have fun. So it was very nice to meet him. He's incredible, and he's kind of like your grandpa. Like he's just so chill, and he was wearing the cool like warp pipe T-shirt. I don't know if you saw that, but he was wearing he was wearing just a cool shirt. He was grandpa. He was grandpa.
Did anyone ask like
just
any?
chilling.
Were there any like conversation pieces or questions asked that were like particularly standing out, like super duper cool secrets?
No, I think
or...
like we all like I didn't have too many questions for him because I was just like, oh my god. But it was mostly like questions about, tell us about, making the first Mario game or blah, blah, blah. And like, that's stuff that's all over the internet. Like everybody knows all that stuff, but he had no problem explaining it again. Like I'm sure he tells it 60 times a day and told us again.
I'm sure he loves telling it too.
Yeah.
Fond memories of his youth.
We got to ask him about like Mr. Miyamoto and other people that work at Nintendo Japan, and he was like, yeah, me and Miyamoto, like we best friends, we talk all the time. We go to each other's house sometimes. Like they're all best friends there. And something that I learned was that everybody at Nintendo, or the turnover rate at work, like for working at Nintendo, is very low. Like
zero.
People that work at Nintendo have been there for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, and they love it. Like to me, it was great hearing that they love what they do and they love Nintendo
Yeah.
just as much as a fan would.
A lot of Japan is
Which
a
is
lot
almost
like
got-
that too, where once you're somewhere, you just that's your place.
Yeah, well, it was Nintendo of America too. Like, there's very little
Yeah.
turnover at Nintendo of America.
Yeah,
too,
I was
so-
gonna say, like, everyone I know, I like Ethan. I am actually familiar with Ethan. I know him. But a lot of other, like, everyone I know that works at Nintendo has been there at least 3 to 4 years since I've known them, and no one's left. Yeah, like
No,
none of them
nobody
have
leaves.
left. No one's
They never
going to
leave.
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's got to be a
which
hard
is
job
very crazy.
to top. Imagine you're at Nintendo and
Yeah.
Sega's like, you want a job? No.
Right? No. I mean, I think. Well, I think for a lot of people that are probably working in video games now, they have the same nostalgia we have about Nintendo. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all our age.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, I
So-
love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. I don't ever want to leave Nintendo. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a
So-
store. They have a store in like each of their offices that have cool Nintendo swag that you can only get there.
That's awesome.
Guess who's
That's-
going to Washington?
It's like the Nike. It's like the Nike store, you know. Yeah, let me know. I want to sneak in on your tour. I'm
Okay.
a 3-hour drive away.
We want to like. We do want to go. We haven't officially planned anything yet, but we do want to go.
You can come visit us then right afterwards. You know,
Deal.
we can make a whole Pacific Northwest trip. So that's cool. Do you have anything like? Did you get to go to E3 at all afterwards, or
No, I didn't.
they didn't keep you out for E3?
I was surprised to
Yeah, well,
hear
I-
that.
I probably could have if I really wanted to. Like, I would have had to let them know in advance, but I've already been gone. I want to get home. I don't travel well. I'm in LA. It's hot. And, yeah. No, I didn't go. Gerard and Abdallah did, though. But Gerard's, like, local to it, and Abdallah is actually from Chicago. And he was hilarious. He was carrying around his trophy all of E3.
I
so
saw
all the
him.
pictures
I
that
saw
he
him
posted,
while I
it
was there with his
adorable.
trophy.
I thought it was so cute. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, he's gonna drop that, and it's gonna be
so-
awful.
That's so great. I probably would do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, but no, it actually ended up being really cool because he ended up getting everybody to sign it. Like, he got Doug Bowser to sign it. He got Mr. Miyamoto to sign it. He got everybody to
That's so
sign
cool.
it. So it worked out for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't as weird.
What was I gonna say? Do you guys like have like a little secret Discord where you all keep in touch? Like, were you still like talk to Gerard and Abdallah and Yellow Killer Bee and everything too, or?
I could if I needed to. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm sure, like, if I ever went to Chicago, I'd hit him
Yeah.
up and be like, hey, I'm coming to Chicago, or like, hey Gerard, I'm coming to LA. Do you want to hang out, get food or something? Or like, I can hang out with YKB at like GDQs or anything, because she's always there.
Yeah.
So-
I get you. Cool. Any other like big highlights before you headed home after all of that?
I got to meet Doug Bowser. That was pretty dope.
The man himself, the new man.
The new man. He was so
kinda-
nice.
I love this Doug Bowser era, for the record. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved Reggie, but Doug Bowser's got swag, dude.
He does. He
Yeah.
does. It's great because he's very welcoming of his last name. Like, it doesn't. I imagine that he used to get tired of it. Oh, like, haha, your name's Bowser, like, blah blah blah. But he genuinely enjoys his last name being Bowser.
That's good. Leaning into
So
it.
it was really cool. And he's very personable, which was really, really cool. So you could, like, we just went up and we talked to him, and he was like, oh, hey, how are you? Like, he was your best friend. It was so cool. And I got to meet a lot of the cool Nintendo of America employees, like all the people that work at in Redmond. And they're all so nice. Like, I couldn't get over how nice everybody was. It was I was so mad. They were all so nice.
Doesn't it make you feel bad every time you knock one of their games? You know, every time we bitch about something they do.
I try not
It's
to.
like,
I try
yeah.
not to knock any of their games. Like, I just love Nintendo, and I love everything that they do, and they're all
feel
great.
that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
all
I feel
great.
that.
And I have a good story about it. So the Switches that we played this unreleased game on, It wasn't a full game, but the Switches that they had, they were locked in like super top secret Pelican cases. Each Pelican case had 2 padlocks on it, and the Pelican cases were tethered to the caretaker guy. Like, he had a
Literally
leash on him.
attached
Like,
to the person.
it was yes,
he buff as hell?
it was the nuclear football. It was the nuclear football. So the guy that carried it, he was a very tall, slim man. He was very nice, actually, but he wore sunglasses everywhere that he went, and I was like, why is this guy so serious? Like, he's wearing sunglasses indoors. He's got this nuclear football literally attached to him. Like, he takes 2 steps, that is with him. 2 steps away, right beside him, every single time. It turns out he forgot his glasses, so he just had to wear his prescription sunglasses.
Oh.
But no, it was very, very interesting to see how secure they had the Switches.
Yeah. No joke on the security. Everyone is probably dying.
No,
like,
it was-
I'm sure there was a small team of people
hilarious.
trying to find ways to weasel like that out
Well,
of the
I mean,
event.
like, it was me and Fef.
Pardon?
It was me and Fef. Like,
No, I mean just like in general, like people are probably wandering
Yeah,
around
me
the
and Fef were the small
venues
team.
and the areas that they know that it's at. Like,
Yeah.
I bet those policies are in place because in the past, it's probably been jacked.
I was gonna
Well,
say someone probably
yeah.
jacked it before, you know.
I heard stories that weekend from Gerard and Abdallah, who are part of the Nintendo Ambassador program. They said that there was an incident a while ago where, like, they used to get early copies of games. And there was an incident where somebody leaked a ROM.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Now they don't get
no
early
more,
copies of
No
games?
more early
Yeah.
games. No more early games.
That makes enough sense, yeah.
One person ruined it for everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo just doesn't do early games.
Mm-hmm.
It
No, not
feels
anymore.
like, you know.
But yeah,
Oh
that
man,
was
that's really funny.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
The nuclear box of Nintendo Switches.
Oh, that is really cool. I'd like that
And
job.
like
I'd walk around with a suitcase attached to me.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'd be scared. I'd get punched or something.
Yeah, see what happens
but when
when
we
you punch
played-
X.
Oh my god. When we played for like the 10 minutes that we got, each of us had one person behind us making sure that we didn't do anything we weren't supposed to. We weren't allowed to push certain buttons. Like,
Wow,
we
really?
were
You had like limits?
We were guarded. Like, we were not allowed to press the home button. Like, it was very top secret stuff. So like they didn't want us seeing stuff that we shouldn't be seeing, but they also didn't want us doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing, like going into
Were
story
you playing
mode or endless
in
or
portable mode? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, portable mode the whole time. Actually, yeah. Portable mode for the practice, and then it was docked
Interesting.
for the main event.
Wow.
But yeah, and then at the end of it, we got these really cool medals, and that was really nice. So I got
That's
this
awesome.
bad boy here.
I would wear
date
that.
on the
I would wear
back.
that around my neck all day.
It's so
every
heavy.
day.
I'll bring it to MMC, and you guys can wear it.
Yeah.
Cool. Someone's gonna steal it there. You better hold on to it. You better put it in a locked case and hold on to that.
You need
bad boy.
anyone to
football.
do the job, Fiend? My rates are pretty low.
Yeah. He's been working out too. He's pretty buff.
You're not wrong.
Two and modest ladies. Anyway, let's move on to some news. Will you stick around and do some news with us there?
I would love to do some news with you.
Hooray!
Yay! Hooray! We're gonna have to run through some of this a little quick, but Mario Maker 2. Let's just keep talking about Mario Maker 2 and Switch since we're already like knee deep in it.
Yeah.
They did their first kind of like quote unquote update, I guess. And part of the update was they doubled the upload limit, and they also announced they're going to do that one more time.
They're gonna double it again, or
you-
increase it by another.
Increase it again. They
Gotcha.
didn't say how many. Yes, but I'd imagine they'd just bring it up to 100, right?
Yeah, 100, 128 would be the magical. Just
Yeah, 128 would be the ideal
it looks good
size limit.
Why is
'Cause
the
right now it's
128 more
64,
ideal?
because
right?
it's double 64. There was like that rumored Mario game that was supposed to be Mario 128. It's got like a good.
Oh, I was
Okay.
I was thinking of like bits and bytes and stuff. That's just what's
Yeah.
next. Is 128.
Yeah, that too. Because that's why it was. Yeah. Anyway, because Mario 64, the whole like 64 bits, and then 128 was the logical next step. But anyway, yeah, they doubled the amount of levels that you're able to upload, which is really cool. I know a lot of people are super stoked about that. I was nowhere near the limit, so it didn't really make a big difference to me. How many levels? I'll be honest, I got 0 up right now.
Same.
Yeah,
Zero?
big fat 0 right now.
I had 3.
I'm sorry. I'm
Anyway.
sorry to rip a Band-Aid
I had
off there,
3.
man.
Oh yeah, no, I miss my level.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't another change, but there was another discovery in Mario Maker 2 that's actually really weird, and it's that Toad and Toadette
Oh my
are
god.
different than Mario and Luigi within the actual game. So apparently their sprites are not just like complete reskins and actually work a little bit differently. And so Toad and Toadette, because of their shorter height, launch fireballs from a little bit lower, I believe. And because of this,
exactly right.
you can set up situations where Mario and Luigi can't proceed through a level, but Toad and Toadette can. Or maybe it's vice versa. I'm not sure.
Oh no, that's very accurate. I think you can also set up now. Someone's created a Mario and Luigi only setup
like a
as
reverse?
well, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more annoying from what I understand. But the Toad only setup is incredibly easy to make happen, and it's out there in the public now, which means everyone knows who pays attention to Mario Maker, which means that we're bound to see it. It doesn't, as a Toadette player myself,
Squad.
and I know Fiend is with me. This doesn't bother me so much, but it amazes me that this in a game that I think one of the utmost important things in a game like Mario Maker is consistency. Mario should jump consistently. Everything needs to be consistent, level to level in some shape or form. It's that offsets the chaos that comes in with user created levels. It's amazing to me that they would let that happen. Just like kind of like mind blowing to me that was, I don't know, that is even possible.
Right. It's
honestly.
weird because like they had to consciously create Toad and Toadette differently. Like we know for a fact they didn't copy paste that. Like they intentionally had to do that differently. And maybe the fireball fires from lower for the strict purpose of aesthetics, but that's still really weird. And it makes me wonder, like the triple jump in New Soups, Mario and Luigi do some lame ass front flip where Toad and Toadette do a super awesome cartwheel midair with a sweet smiley face. Maybe there's a slight difference in the mechanics of that.
I have to feel like there's more differences, even if they're slight, than we've been privy to. I guess if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
And I think this is only in the new Super Mario Brothers theme where it happens, but still, it's just so insane and crazy and fascinating to me that it's even possible. Like that's something that slipped by somehow. Someone at Nintendo to do that. And we're not knocking Nintendo. I'm just saying.
Have you seen? There was a graphical glitch that only worked with Luigi. It was.
Yes, I have seen a lot of. There's actually a lot of graphical glitches that only work with Luigi.
Classic Luigi.
Oh, what a dweeb!
Yeah. So I mean, but
they're just getting ready for Luigi's Mansion. That's all. They're just getting ready.
I think that does show that like there's a difference between Luigi and Mario.
Yeah.
Then there's if it only works with Luigi as well. And I mean, I don't know, why would they just not make it just straight reskins? I mean, like the SMB one seems like a straight reskin because Toadette is thick in that. Thick. So I don't know. I'm very surprised that happened at all.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm excited to see what like if Nintendo does anything about it. I'm also excited to see what else, like it's out there. Someone's going to find the other differences. I'm just curious as to what they are. I just hope they're not too impactful where it comes to the point where there is a legitimately superior character to be choosing that isn't Toad. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, as long as Toad is the superior character,
Yeah.
I think we're all okay.
When I get levels that say beat the level as Super Mario, I still want to be Toadette. I don't want to have to actually be Mario.
Yeah. That bothers me. I don't know why that bothers me too. It's like, yo, I'm Toadette. Call me by my name. All right? I'm Toadette.
Yeah.
I know. It seems like that seems like an oversight as well.
Well, Nintendo's been full of oversights lately, and here's another one for you. The Joy-Con drift issue, which I'm sure you guys have heard about, yeah?
My wife experienced it hardcore during her Breath of the Wild playthrough. Yeah, she had mad Joy-Con drift. I might, and I just never used my Joy-Cons, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's good news on that front. After there was like a developing class action lawsuit about it that was coming against Nintendo. And after that, I don't know if that's still going forward or not, but I know that they have made a public memo about the fact that they will now repair your Joy-Cons for free. And if you've already been paid to get your Joy-Cons repaired, you'll be refunded. So anyone listening to this, if you had to shell out some dollarinis to fix your Joy-Cons, don't worry about it. They'll hook you back up. It's a pretty cool move of them to pull a Microsoft during the Xbox 360 era and just like right this wrong, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It apparently it's really bad. Like my wife complained about it for a while, and then we finally went out and just bought new Joy-Cons, and I didn't realize at the time how like bad it was. You know, if that makes sense.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real issue that people are having.
Yeah, I've had it on GameCube controllers in the past, and like it sucks. You know, like if you plug a GameCube controller into and you have it not set to neutral, like the control stick is maybe a little to the left, then
my Wii U would do that. So if I started up my Wii U and I was like holding left or something on my controller, it would just stick.
Exactly, it registers that position as neutral, and so when you move it back to the center, it thinks you're holding right, and then it's like, well, now I got to restart this controller. It's a pain in the butt. It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, restarting controller is just the worst. No, but for real though, it is a pain in the butt. It's kind of jank, and just I don't know, like anytime you're dropping inputs or anytime you feel like nobody ever wants to feel cheated in their video games. So to have a Joy-Con drift is especially maddening. I'd assume for like kids that, what do I want to say? Parents may not believe the drift is happening. You know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like how many times have you been around someone who's like, I swear I didn't lose, it's the controller's fault.
Yeah, like this is a situation where it actually was the controller's fault, and that's the absolute worst. So props to Nintendo for righting the wrong, but no props for the wrong happening in the first place. Now, also Nintendo, if you could possibly fix the horrible D-pad on your Pro controllers, which is well documented to be bad.
Yeah.
And amazes me that ever got put out into the world.
Remember your first time playing Tetris 99 with one of those controllers?
Oh my God, it pissed me off so much.
There's few times where I'm not a big John thrower. I think if you ever hear me throw a John about a game, it's a pretty legit John. And when I was losing at Tetris because of that phantom hard drop, I was throwing some Johns.
Oh yeah, I was pretty angry.
Yeah,
I was pretty angry.
I had to tell people, I swear I'm not this bad at Tetris.
I know. Well, it's just like it just would drop your lines. Like I don't know. It always would happen on a long piece too. It never happened on a non-long piece.
Sucked. Super sucked.
Yeah. All right. What else? What other news we want to break down here?
There's a lot of cool new mods that came out in the last week and stuff like that. You guys want to hear about them?
Yes.
So 2 games. Number 1, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Wii U version, where the modding scene is much stronger, likely because it's a lot easier to mod a Wii U than a Switch. But there was someone who has used, I think the tool is called ice lance or ice spear, the like tool to do, level creation in Breath of the Wild. They remade a shrine completely into the Earth Dungeon from Skyward Sword. And like, I watched like the video of the guy playing through. It's been like 5 years since I played Skyward Sword, and I'm like, I remember that part and that part and that part. And like, it looked great. It operated a lot differently because of the obviously different physics.
Yeah.
A dungeon that's designed to have Link automatically jump when he rolls off a ledge works a little differently in like a setting where you have to manually jump. So that was like, you see the guy die a couple times, and that was always really funny, but it looks really cool, and it kind of makes me want to see where the Wii U Breath of the Wild modding scene is going to go.
How do they handle the Wii modes?
I think they just expect you to play with like a pro controller or a gamepad.
Can you play Skyward Sword with a pro controller?
No, they just make you use the sword. Like they
give you a button instead of making you.
Because it's a mod of Breath of the Wild, so it controls just like Breath of the Wild, but it just looks like Skyward Sword's
sense.
dungeon. It's redesigned in a few places where that mechanic was like necessary.
Yeah, they have like a dungeon maker now. They essentially have like lunar magic for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and Ice Lance is such a cool name for that.
Yeah, I wonder what the scene's like. I wonder how big it is. If there's hundreds of guys or tens of guys that are out there making like I wonder how much I'm missing out on right now.
I feel like it's probably comparable to the SMW scene before Dram World. I feel like it's probably
I get what you're saying.
A pre-Dram World SMW ROM hacking would be comparable, I think, to Wii U Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah, but then other than that, a much bigger ROM hacking scene, Super Smash Bros. Melee got a D-Make, Melee 64. And this one is super cool because they just take everything in the game and make it look like it's from Mario or from Smash Bros. 64. Every bit of audio in the game is like redone to sound like it's from Smash 64. And it's just so cool looking. Like
everything's been downgraded, literally.
Yeah, like Marth and Roy are in weird polygon shapes, and like, Mario and DK and Link look just like they did on the N64. So like, for all of the characters who weren't in the 64 version, they remade them into weird N64 polygon dudes. They made a bunch of new levels. They made completely 2 tracks per level. You hold L or you hold R, like as you're going into the levels, and it changes the track, which is so like the amount of work that went into this project is just so mind-boggling.
Bottles the mind?
Yeah, just caps it right off.
Doesn't boggle it, but it bottles it.
Yeah. Like, when you're like shooken up in a bottle, just like that.
Like, no, I think it's a bottle.
I'm pretty sure.
Like
I'm pretty sure the phrase in Canada is bottles. I think Fiend could vouch for me on this one. Feeney, I swear to God, that was my cue for back me on this.
I'm sorry, I can't back you up on this one, X-Water. You're boggling my mind right now.
All right, well,
bottles my mind.
I'm a bottle. I don't know. I got nothing.
My mind is stuck in a bottle.
What does boggle even mean?
I don't know. I know it's a game where you shake things up. I do know that.
That is true. You do shake boggle.
But I don't think that's where the reference is from. I think that game's probably also
shaking is probably how Boggle got its name, though.
Anyway, what game would you guys really like to see D-made?
Mario Odyssey. I'd like to play Mario Odyssey if it was a 64.
Oh, I don't know. I'd like to see like most of the Zelda games, like the 3D Zelda games, put into like Link to the Past engine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Like
and
I would like
versa,
to see
I was gonna say.
and vice versa. I'd love to see Link to the Past in Breath of the Wild engine.
I would love to see both of those things happen, like 1 billion%. I've always wanted to play Metroid Prime in 2D.
Yeah.
I've always thought that would be really, really fun.
Metroid Prime is really good. Like, really good.
It's so scary.
That's a really good pick.
All right, let's talk a little bit non Twitch news, non gaming. Let's talk about Marvel's 9 billion movies that they just announced.
All their movies and all their shows on Disney Plus, and I'm so excited for everything.
We got Lady Thor, we got Black Widow, we got a Hawkeye show, we've got like I don't know. Basically, if you're a character in Marvel, you either have your own movie, your own sequel, or your own TV show right now. Including my personal favorite, because this is my favorite comic book movie of all time, Blade.
Yeah.
The original Blade, the original Blade was so good. I loved it so much. It's like hardcore rated R. There's so much awesome blood in it. It was like peak vampire like time before they like vampires got like teen angst. Like they were so badass.
It was before vampires became a love interest.
Yeah, I'm so pumped they're making a new Blade. I'm so nervous it's not going to be rated R because I'm 99% sure it won't be. I think
you never
I think
know.
They did
know.
really
do you
well
see them
with
doing...
Deadpool being rated R. Like,
Well, that Deadpool wasn't like the Marvel Studios. Deadpool was still Fox.
Yeah.
But
Now the next Deadpool will be
and will
Marvel.
it be PG? Do we know?
The next one will be. I've heard rumors that they want to keep it rated R. And they want to. I've heard that they want to start bringing him into other projects as well.
The thing with Disney that's really weird is the Disney Plus service, they don't want any rated R content on Disney Plus.
No.
And they want all the Marvel movies on Disney Plus, and that's where it gets like this weird. Like, because it's hard because some
sticky.
Marvel comics need to be rated
Venom
R. Like they
not
really
being
do.
rated R ruined a lot of it for me because Venom goes around. He's like, you know what? My favorite thing to do is fucking eating people. I eat human beings, but this film is PG-13. So whenever I eat someone, we're just gonna make the camera a little blurry and pan away for like 2 seconds, and then you come back and they're gone, and I've eaten them. It's like, listen, man, if you're gonna eat them, I want to see that. I want to see how Venom digests, 168 bones and about 80 pounds of flesh. I'm curious.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I just don't see a way you do Deadpool ever in a especially after they've already had to.
Right?
Like you couldn't go back.
Did you guys
You
see
couldn't
the
slide back.
PG-13 version of Deadpool 2? Because they did a special.
No.
They did like a Christmas special.
Was it like 30
No,
minutes?
they just like comically altered the film in ways where it was like obviously redubbed over at parts where he said things he couldn't say, and like they would obviously just throw things over onto the screen at things they couldn't show to make it get a PG-13 rating, and then for like 2 weeks at Christmas you could see it PG-13 Deadpool 2.
That's really funny. I had no idea they did that.
It's definitely worth checking out.
I bet that's the one on Disney Plus.
Definitely.
I bet that's the one that ends up
and
on
that
Disney
would
Plus.
actually be a good approach to that whole problem for them, where they could still make the rated R film and then just do a PG-13 version, because they got the money for that.
Yeah, I'm really ready for Deadpool to like pop up in Thor for no reason though. Like I'm really ready for those moments to happen.
There's so many cool things they can do with Deadpool because he's done everything. I've read the books. He's done everything.
Yeah,
and like
and
he's been to space. He could show up in like any movie now.
Yeah, he's so unique. Like I really would love to see Deadpool versus Wolverine just like break out in the middle of a Wolverine movie for no reason. You know what I mean? Like it just happens. And I mean, the other thing about Deadpool is he knows he's in a movie. So he's the one that can like, I don't know, he can always be this like weird gap, between universes and shit. Like you could throw him in a Spider-Verse movie and all sorts of dumb stuff. Like it'd just be so great. Yeah.
Which one I'm really excited for? Shang-Chi. Hero I've never heard about, but I'm always 100% down for martial arts movies. And from what I've read, Shang-Chi eventually gets powers, but other than that, he's just a regular human being who's really good at martial arts.
He knows kung fu. So Shang-Chi is actually like the Mandarin. So if you remember the one Iron Man movie where they had the Mandarin and he was like the fake Mandarin, Shang-Chi in the comic books is the real Mandarin.
Cool. Well, there's his tie-in.
So I'm I'm interested to see how they do that without Iron Man now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I assume they're gonna have a new Iron Man, or like War Machine's gonna be.
It'll be
More.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't
I
there
have
rumors
to,
of like a teenage girl Iron Man replacement at some point?
I mean, I don't know who's Iron Man right now in whatchamacallit. Yeah. In the comics.
Yeah,
Like, I have no
I'm
idea.
not. I don't keep up with comics that much, so I'm amateur hour here.
They refresh them so often that it's hard to keep
Yeah,
track
like
of them all.
it feels like
Yeah.
there's different stories that are independent of each other. That just you kind of like a Zelda game, like Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess are 2 different stories.
Yeah. I'm a DC guy when it comes to comics. I love Marvel
There's about as
movies.
many fans
I like
of DC as there is of Fire Emblem.
No, DC Comics is actually really good.
So is Fire Emblem.
And it's just their movies. I don't know. I've never met anyone who plays it, X-Water. And Marvel Comics aren't, it's not that they're not good. It's just like, I don't know. I'd rather watch the movies. The movies are so good that it's like, whereas DC, it's the complete opposite. The DC movies suck. I wonder how they're going to like bring X-Men in. Like, I really hope that X-Men is a big part of this next phase.
I hope so too, especially with like Scarlet Witch is already there, and she's an X-Man.
Yeah, X-Men are really cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they reboot it in a good way.
You want? Well, they have did it already come out?
Dark Phoenix,
They have
They had Dark Phoenix, and I think they have New Mutants.
Did Dark
And I
Phoenix
think that
already come
one's-
out?
Yeah, Dark
I think
Phoenix
it
has
got
been out.
bad ratings, but I haven't seen it. I do want to because Jean Grey is sick.
Awkward.
She is. She's so strong, but not. I don't know. I didn't really like the rebooted
You
franchise
don't like
with.
Jennifer Lawrence and the time traveling and everything? You're not.
Well, it's not so much the time traveling. It was just
Yeah.
bleh. It was just bleh.
I really liked the process of rebooting it, like that. Or First Class and
The
Days
way
of
they did
Future
it.
Past were both
Yeah.
super
I
sick.
like the way they did it.
Apocalypse was a little bit much.
Yeah, I was so disappointed in that one because Apocalypse was my favorite X-Men enemy, and they just
It's hard to
I don't know, it's
use
horrible.
an enemy whose name is essentially destroyer of the universe. Like how do you beat the Apocalypse, right? Like you can't bring a guy like that in and have him be beaten so easily.
Do you remember the 90s cartoon?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Apocalypse storyline in that was awesome.
It was. It was the best.
Yeah,
it was probably
very
the
good.
best storyline in that whole series.
Yeah, I completely agree. The 90s cartoon was so good. That 90s X-Men cartoon was so stinking good.
That
90s
one and
Batman, too.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and
and
Spider-Man. All
Batman.
three of them were good. Yeah, all three of
Apparently,
them were really,
90s
And then there was
Batman is
Batman
like
Beyond.
the pinnacle go-to for how to correctly do cartoons.
I would agree with that. It
Probably.
was like, yeah, I mean, even now that you still use the 90s Batman cartoon voices
Yeah.
for like the Arkham series,
Yeah.
you know? So
Wasn't Mark
Yep.
Hamill the Joker for that
He
one?
does
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
Joker.
his
He does.
Joker's the best. It also introduced Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn
Yep.
was from the cartoon first,
Oh.
and then got adopted over. Yeah, she
So
was a
I
cartoon
learned.
character.
And the one
I know.
episode with Mr. Freeze won a
Nice
bunch
to
of
meet
awards.
you. I know.
Not that
I
Mr.
just
Freeze.
can't hear
Not that
Mr.
one.
Freeze and not think of Arnold making bad puns. Chill out.
Chill.
Before we move on,
talk about-
who's your guys' favorite X-Men?
It's hard because
Wait,
I don't like him in the
movie or
movies.
comic book?
Yeah,
give me
I was
one of
gonna
both.
Say, Rogue is my favorite in the like cartoon comics. Yeah, but not in the movies.
I still can't decide.
Yeah.
I know Deadpool's not technically an X-Man. There was a time where he had a
X-Force.
stint. He was X-Force, but he had a very short stint in
Well,
X-Men.
hasn't like Spider-Man been in X-Men now
Yes.
too? He's been in
Yes.
Spider-Man's been in Fantastic Four. He's been in Avengers. Like Spider-Man's just like is a
Spider-Man's
group
the
jumper.
coolest.
You know what I
Of course,
mean?
everybody wants him.
He's Yeah.
I guess I can't really count Omega Red either then. Colossus.
Colossus is pretty cool. That's a good pick.
He's pretty cool. Colossus, and you know what? I'm going to go
Gambit.
with Magic too. Colossus and Magic. They're brother, sister.
Mine's pretty boring, but I love Nightcrawler. Teleportation is cool. And he's also cool looking.
That's cool.
Jubilee.
Now I'm just naming X-Men. Jubilee is literally the worst.
She's literally good. Her power is literally just prestidigitation. Like, fireworks,
Oh, look at these lights. Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha. You can't see that
She-
good for about 3
Surprise!
seconds.
She's even bad in the game game. That's funny. Yeah, Jubilee is. I wonder if there's anyone out there that's just like a hardcore Jubilee fan.
They gotta exist.
There's gotta be
Probably.
someone. Yeah, there's gotta be someone out there. that's
Someone
like,
who really
Jubilee is my
resonates
favorite
with
X-Men.
like not being that good at your job. I don't know.
They like Katy Perry's Fireworks, their best song. 4th of July is everything they live for. Like,
They've got the yellow coat.
Oh my god.
yeah,
That-
yeah, the whole thing. All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk about ESA real quick. It's the European Speedrun Assembly. It's basically Europe's version of GDQ. Really cool thing that's happening there is crowd control. And this is gonna be crowd control's first time ever done at like a speedrun marathon. Jakku is there. That's why he couldn't be with us this week. I'm just really like excited and hopeful
Yeah.
to see it happen. By the time this airs, it will have already happened. But I'm excited. I'm nervous about it. What are you expecting? Are you expecting TGH is the runner? Amazing, one of the best speedrunners in the world. What are you expecting out of this particular event, Xwater?
Surprise, honestly. I'm expecting a lot of surprise because I know we have the newest feature that was built like pretty much for this type of event for when you get to these situations where the audience is above 2 or 3K people, something like that, where you can't have people killing you for $5, $10, whatever. Because if that's the case and you have that many people, you're just going to be dying like nonstop, right? So the newest feature, the price scaling, is as a feature gets used or an effect gets used, it goes up in price. And then as it doesn't get used, it decays in price. So it puts a barrier on being able to grief the player in these settings where there is so much, like where there's such a huge audience. And I think that's going to play out in a lot of ways that we're expecting to see, but also is going to play out in a lot of ways we're not expecting to see. Like maybe people run out of kills and start getting really creative with the way they're trying to ruin TGH's good time, right? Like they start throwing down ice physics coupled with the killer chickens and one-hit KO instead of a kill because the 3 of those is just more economical at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that. We're also doing, and this is kind of crazy, but we're doing crowd control right after that.
Yeah.
A live audience only crowd control at this small event called
Never heard of it.
Lollapalooza. Yeah, I
No.
don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's a rather large festival. X1, you're coming down
I
for
wanted
it?
to. Well, of course I'm going to be there. It's Chicago. It's close enough for a drive.
I love you, man. This is why I love you. You know, I'm so grateful for that. It's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have. I mean, crowd control at both spots, but
I'm
just those are 2 really big events.
I'm also
you know?
really excited for the fact that we get to turn up and see Childish Gambino the next day. Because the first time I ever saw him
yes.
live was at Lollapalooza in like 2014. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's had like
That's awesome.
since then he's released.
That's the last time I saw him.
What's it called?
3 albums.
Not has it been 3?
I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
Royalty hadn't come out
'cause-
at that
yeah.
point, which was his mixtape.
Yeah.
And then he had the one that was like different. What was it called? The one with Redbone on it.
Yeah. I see, that's probably my favorite.
is a really
one,
good
which is
album.
Funny. Yeah, I saw him right when Camp
Oh
came
wow,
out.
yeah, that's
The
awesome.
last time. So and he did like 2 songs from Because of the Internet. So he was like working on that and it was awesome. It was me and my wife's whole honeymoon. So she's like really
Oh, because
pissed
she's
off
not gonna
right
be
now
there. Oh,
because
that
she's not going to be
sucks.
there. Yeah. She is going to get to come to the next speedrun sessions, which I told you guys where it's at, but I can't tell anyone else yet where it's at. So she is excited about that.
Well,
one.
that's nice. I'm glad you guys are going to get to do one. Are you guys going to have someone watch Lil B? Are you going to bring him along?
No, he's going to come with
Will
us
that
to the
be
next
his
one,
first time like doing any travel?
He did a plane ride to San Francisco.
Gotcha.
Actually,
That's
already.
right. I remember you were telling us about it and how he was like the perfect kid on the whole plane.
Oh my God, he was amazing. He was literally the greatest child of all time. He slept on the way back. He slept the whole flight.
What a legend. What a champion.
Yeah, the whole flight. The way there, he slept 90% of the flight. He was awake for like 2 minutes, and then he just smiled at me and was adorable. This time will probably be way worse because he's older now. You know, he's squirmy. He's starting to move. He's not like in a full crawl, but he's in a pretty.
It's like when you pick up a cat that doesn't want to be held. Okay.
Yeah, he's in a pretty progressive scoot, is what I want to say. Like he scoots. He can move. You know, he can get from point A to point B. It just takes him a while. Takes a lot of energy. He gets tired once he gets there. You know, it's only a matter of time. Having a kid's fucking wild, y'all. It's just like it happens. Like everything happens so fucking fast. And also, I don't remember a time where I didn't have a kid. And it's only been like 6 months, but I literally have no recollection of what life was like before having one. So yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And otherwise, I mean, I guess we can just go ahead. I don't know if I'm supposed to announce this, but we might as well talk about it for the listeners that listen, the hardcore listeners.
The true believers.
The true believers, the people that listen to all the way to the end of the podcast, no matter how long it takes us to go, 1 hour and 99 minutes. Mario Masters Coliseum 3 is happening. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Both of you will be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, both of you will be there, so we can officially announce that. I already announced Cliffy will be there, which is
Cliffy's gonna be there.
Cliffy's going to be there, so those are the only people we're willing to announce right now. I can also say that it's happening in September.
Do you remember?
The 5th. The 5th is when it starts. Those are the only information. That's the only information I can give you.
What
That's
a
all
tease.
the information I can give
What
you.
a tease. What a reward for the true listeners who stuck around to the full 80 minutes we've got so far. A round of applause to all of you.
9
really proud
minutes.
of you guys.
90.
9 billion minutes. Right
I think
there,
I think that closes us off for the day. Do we have anything else we wanted to talk about here?
No, Fiend, where can they find you at? Where can we
I'm all
acquire
over
your
the
hot
place.
content? Yes.
You can find me almost every day of the week at twitch.tv/TheDragonFeeney. You can also find me at youtube.com/TheDragonFeeney. That's FEENEY.
Your YouTube game is, you've been killing it. Both of you guys have been killing the YouTube game lately. You guys have been doing like freaking awesome.
We've had daily videos.
That's crazy.
On YouTube this month. So it's when I was telling you I was busy, I mean we busy. I'm streaming every day, almost YouTube videos every day. I'm on Twitter, TheDragonFeeney, Instagram, TheDragonFeeney. I'm TheDragonFeeney.
If you Google TheDragonFeeney, you'll find her.
You'll find at least 3 of those 4.
She's got you covered in the morning streams and the evening streams. Whatever your cup of tea is, easy peasy. Great. Mm-hmm. Cool. Fiend, thanks so much for joining us for this episode. I'm really happy to have you on after I joined in.
Every 100 episodes. Yeah. Fiend pointed out she was on episode 6 of the podcast, and now she's been on episode 106 of the podcast.
206, here we come.
We look forward. Yeah.
I'll see you in 100 episodes.
Hey, maybe we can get you in at like 156, get a nice like halfway mark. How you been?
Yeah, maybe we need to make that. You cut that down a little bit, I think.
That's what traditions are all about.
Thank you so much.
You take them, you modify them, and you give it to them. That's the phrase. All right. Man. Well, thanks everybody for listening. A quick little plug. Make sure you check us out. We have our Patreon. That's patreon.warp.world. If you can go there. You can support the podcast and keep it running. We also have Twitter. You can follow us at the Warp World Twitter. Check out all of the amazing tools that Warp World offers, including crowd control, free for anybody to use. So if you want to ramp up your stream with crowd control, sweet interactive gaming with your audience, check that out. And the other big one is the Warp Queue, your one-stop shop for queuing literally anything, whether it's Mario Maker viewer levels, Smash Bros. Competitions, or people you want to roast in your chat one by one, whatever you decide is your cup of tea. And also there's OneUp You can accept cryptocurrency there. I've been working on my plug game. What did you guys think?
That was incredible. That was a
pretty good.
really good plug game.
You're missing one. You're missing one.
I got a lot of them there. All right. That wraps us up for episode 106. As we usually say, in the books. In the books.
In the books. See you guys next week. Peace. Bye.